Welcome to part 7 of building the invoice management system. Yeah, we are on part 7, and in this one we're going to look at how to set up the path, the URLs, the templates and the views so that we can see something on the browser. I would like to inform you that we have a Patreon page. Alright, so to support us you can go to appcoms, or you can go to patreon.com/appcoms, and to say thank you to our support, or thank you to your support, we will upload the entire source code of all the applications that we've been teaching on this YouTube channel. So currently, if I go to the app by typing localhost 8000, we have this default Django page. We want to change this to our custom page. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do in this video. Alright, so the steps as usual is on the blog side, and this is part 7. Now if I scroll down, you have 6 simple steps, in fact 5 steps. This is just to confirm that the page is actually loading. Alright, so the first step is to create a template folder in the app. Alright, so we have our app name as Invoice MGMT. I'm gonna go into the text editor, and right here where we have the app, if I minimize all this, you have the app here. So I'm going to right click and create new folder, name it template. Alright, now if I expand it, you have templates folder right here. Alright, so in the template folder is where we're going to create all our HTML documents. Right, so I'm going to right click the templates folder and click new file, and I'm going to save it as home.html. Okay, so for the home.html, I'm gonna have our h1 tag, and then I'm gonna have welcome to the app, and I'm gonna close the tag, save it. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this in step number 3. Okay, I'm gonna paste that in the views.py. I'm going to paste it here, then explain what is going on. So in the views.py is where we're going to create the controllers. Okay, so now this is what put all these pieces together. So now this is a function based view. Okay, we're going to define the function and give it a name. All right, so within that function we're going to have our title, the context. So within the context, the title will be the title of the page. I'm going to replace this I'm going to explain this further in a different video, but for now, or in fact I can do that in this video. So what I will do is the template will be what's going to be shown on our home page instead of this text. But for now I'm going to leave this text, then we're going to move it to, or we're going to change it to this text right here, so they see how these pieces fit together. So in the context is where you define the variables that you can use within your home or templates. Okay, but you're gonna understand that better when I start using it right here. Okay, so the function is gonna return a request, the HTML document, and whatever you have in your context right here. Okay, for the context we have only title. Okay, now this home.html is what we created right here in the home, in the templates folder. Okay, now I'm gonna switch to the next step, that is creating your URLs. Okay, the URL part. Now what this URL is like this. Now if I go to the home page, it should translate to a specific URL. Okay, so now that URL will also link to a view, and that view will call a HTML document. Now if I do /admin, so the same thing is doing or happening in the background. So the same thing is done in the background. It has went into some views, and that views call a particular template, and that template is rendered on the browser. So this is what we want to do in this video. But now instead of going to a specific URL or a slash directory, I'm gonna just use the home page, and that home page should be our home, the new home.html that we created. All right, now to do that, I'm gonna go to the URLs module right here, which is located in the project folder. Okay, that's the URL right here. So by default we have the /admin URL. So if you don't have anything here that replaces your home URL, the Django default page will be loaded. Right, now to create your own page or your own home page, you have to define an empty part right here. What I mean by an empty part is this. Okay, if I come down here, we have this pattern, this part right here. I'm gonna copy and paste it in the pattern. Okay, now look at the difference between this. You have part, and in the codes right here you have admin /. So this is what is rendering the admin page, or that is taking us to the admin app. Okay, and that is the app URLs defined right here. So behind this URL there are a bunch of URLs, but I'm not going to go into that in this video. Alright, but now what I want you to pay attention is this empty quotation right here. Okay, so whatever I put in here will be my URL. Like if I want to put /home right here, I'm gonna write home here, and then on the browser you're gonna have /home. Okay, so since I don't have anything right here, or if I leave it blank, so that means this is gonna be our home page. Okay, and this is gonna be translated to a particular view, and we're gonna give the view a name, not the view, the part, this URL here, a name. But we're not gonna go into that yet until when we start getting into actual coding. All right, so the view dot home is this. So now if I go to the views page or the views module, there is a home function. So this is what we are calling, right? So when we go to the default page or the home page, we want to run this view. I'm gonna import this view right here. Now if I save it and then look in the code right here, you can see name views is not defined, and it is caused by this code right here. All right, now what that means is this: it is trying to use a variable view which is not defined above right here. We've not imported it, okay, or we didn't assign it anywhere. So I'm gonna import the view and the home page, okay, or the home view, right? So I'm gonna say views.home. But now to better understand it, let me just import this. I'm gonna come right here, do this import from .invoice import views. Okay, now let me type it so that's easier for you to understand. I'm gonna say from the app name, okay, from this app name we're in the URL part, and that URL, we are in the URL module, and in the URL since the URL is in the Django projects app, okay, right, so we're gonna go into this app, the Invoice MGMT app, and then import the views module. So I'm gonna say from this app, from Invoice MGMT app, import views. Okay, so I'm importing this module right here. Okay, I'm gonna save it, and this error should be gone. Right, you can see now the server run without having any error. Good. So that's how to import modules from different apps. So we're gonna go into the app, from the app import this view. So now in the view we have this home function. Okay, so we're gonna say view.home. That means go into the view and then import or run this home function right here, right? So that's what this one is doing. So what the URL itself is doing is, if I go to an empty URL or the home page, run this view for us. And now when this view is run, it will return, since it's a function, it's going to return the request that was passed in through this request right here, okay, or through this parameter right here, and it will also return the URL or the template that I defined here and whatever context we have in here. Now since we have this as a home page and we have our context right here, if I save and refresh the home page, we should have our home page rendered. All right, okay, good. So now you've seen how all these pieces are fitting together. If you're still facing issues running this home folder or the home template, okay, you'll have to use this os.path.join. okay, so you're gonna paste this code right here in the settings file right here. Okay, you're gonna replace this dictionary with this code. okay, and that should work fine. And this is what it is doing. It's gonna use this joiner or this oyster-path join to allow you to run templates that are in invoice/templates folder, okay, invoice mgmt/template folder. But you'll also have to import the OS right up here. Okay, I'm gonna do an import, like import OS, and then I can now paste that code in right here, and that should be able to fix that error. All right, so by default Django looks in the templates in this folder as well. Okay, so this is what you need to do to create your first home page. Now if you want to use the context variables to render out the content of the home page, this is what you're gonna do. Okay, now in here in the views you have this context variable, and if I want to use that in the home.html document or in the home.html template, I'm going to use this variable right here. In here I'm going to remove this, save it, and it should be empty. Okay, now I'm going to use a context variable. We're going to be using this extensively when we start building the app. Okay, so if I save this and refresh, we should see welcome to this home page. Okay, welcome, this is the home page. That is whatever you define in the view right here. So this is how all these pieces fit together. To summarize, you're gonna have your home page setup. Okay, you're gonna have your home page created, or the templates created, and then create a home.html folder or file in it. I keep interchanging folder and a file. So you're gonna create a templates folder in the app, right? And then create a home.html document right in the templates folder, and then you create your views, and the views is what puts all these pieces together. Now to be able to run your view, you have to have your URL set up, and this is what defines the default URL or the home page, right? So if you have errors after fixing all of this, you have to import OS, okay, and then define the folder, the newly created folder that is called the templates, using these settings right here. Right, so I hope this is informative. If you do have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you like the video, please don't forget to click on that thumbs up. Otherwise, see you in the next video.